Hello, welcome to Barbies and Baby Dolls, where I talk about dolls, big and small. I love them all. My name is Becca, and let's get this video started. Today I decided to not only be the voice behind the video, but to be the face behind this video. Today I want to discuss something kind of important and something that happened to me a few years ago that I find very important to discuss with all my ladies out there. First, of course, we got to talk about dolls. So this little lady I have here, look at her in her beautiful red dress. She is the 2007 Go Red for Women Barbie. Go Red for Women is the American Heart Association's nationwide movement that celebrates the energy, passion, and power of women to band together and to wipe out heart disease. Thanks to the participation of millions of people across the country, the color red and the red dress have become linked with the ability all women have to improve their heart health and live stronger, longer lives. This little lady was created by designer Robert Best. Go Red for Women Barbie Doll celebrates her vibrant and vital national movement in a singular style. The doll makes a meaningful difference wearing a bold red chiffon gown with pleated details and rhinestone brooch accent. I'm actually reading what's on the back of the box for this Barbie. I have, of course, unboxed her. I've gotten rid of the box, but I went through my photos and I found the back of the box, so that's what I'm reading right now. But look at her. She is beautiful. She's got this brooch, and then she has these little kind of diamond earrings, this bright red lip. What do we have here? Some blue eyeshadow, and she's on a Model Muse body, so she doesn't really have much articulation, just the normal shoulders and hips. And then she has this little strappy red heel. Oops. I can show it to you. This strappy red heel. And her toenails are painted red, and her fingernails are also painted red. So go red for your heart, for your health, for your life, for women you love. I wanted to basically debut this video on February 1st because the month of February is National Heart Month. It's the big month basically that the American Heart Association does like a large part of their fundraising, and they just, it's Valentine's Day is in February, so they figure they can jump on that and make it National Heart Month. And then every first Friday in February is Wear Red Day. So this year it falls on February 7th, 2025. Wear your red. You can wear a dress like hers, as fancy as hers, or you can wear just a simple little dress like I have. And I have some other girls I want to show off. Oop, she's showing a little skin. So this little lady has a red and white dress, but she's ready to wear her red on February 7th. Let's see. This little lady, she's got a red skirt with some nice red accessories and some cute little clogs. Let's see, what other girls do I have here? This lady's showing her red just with a little skirt. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a dress. You can wear any kind of red. If you're a guy, wear a red tie, I don't know. Wear red, it's so important. And why this is so important to me is because 10 days after my 40th birthday, which happened to be July 10th, 2020, I had a massive heart attack. I was not aware that I had coronary artery disease. It did run in my family. All the men in my family have suffered from this disease. My father, my great-grandfather, I have an uncle that's had quadruple bypass. So basically my grandfather, my great-grandfather, all died by the time they were 50 of heart attacks. My dad at 47 went in with shortness of breath, and he was shown to have a blockage, and he had a stent put in. And then fast forward 30 years, he also ended up having a quadruple bypass, and because of complications from that, he passed away. My uncle, who's older than my dad, he also has had quadruple bypass. So at 40 years old, it was the height of COVID. So it was so scary. And I had the symptoms, like the typical symptoms that even a man would have. And I'm saying this because women a lot of time have completely different symptoms. They might just have an upset stomach or indigestion or might feel a little uncomfortable in their chest. It might not be as an intense presentation as a man would have. And it was a Friday night. I remember clear as day. I remember telling my husband, I was like, something just isn't right. I was having like crushing chest pains. I was having the numbness down my left arm. I was shaking uncontrollably and I felt so nauseated. Luckily, we only live a couple miles from a great hospital. I walked in there. I had to be by myself because it was the height of COVID. I walked into the emergency room shaking uncontrollably. Luckily, the security guard noticed. They immediately put me into a wheelchair, pulled me up to the front desk, and I told them I was having chest pains. Something wasn't right. So they put me in a room, they took my vitals, they took my blood, and they let me sit in a room all by myself. So after a few hours, they ran my blood again and it came back positive. There's a specific enzyme that your heart will put off if you've had a heart attack. And my enzyme was off the charts. And as you can see, I'm a pretty tiny human being. I am 4'11", and at the time I was about 95 pounds. So they had to run all the tests on me because they didn't know why the heck is this 40-year-old woman in good health here having a heart attack. They had to run all sorts of tests on me. I ended up staying the night because they just didn't know, what was going on. So I had to stay the night into the Saturday, and then they were going to hold me till Monday, and then do angioplasty, which is basically they send a catheter through your groin up through your heart vessels and stuff like that and arteries. But that Saturday, I don't know, my vitals were all over the place. My heart rate was in the 200s. My blood pressure was out of control. And they were like, you know what? We're going to get the on-call doctor to come in. So that next day I was, first off, COVID. So everybody's covered in like hazmat gear. I was brought into the cath lab, as they call it, and they had to test me for COVID like a million times. And then when they realized that I didn't have COVID, they all were able to disrobe and get off their hazmat stuff. Just so you know, you are completely awake for this procedure. They put you on a table. You are to lie completely still. And because I'm so tiny, because there's another option that they can go through your wrist veins to go to your heart. But because I'm so tiny, that wasn't an option. So they had to go through my groin. And basically you're told to stay still. They put this like dye in you, and it basically feels like you peed yourself because you feel warm all of a sudden. It's just the weirdest feeling ever. So they went through my veins and they found that I had a 95 to 99% blockage of my LAD, which is the main artery in your heart. It's the type of heart attack I had. It was called a widowmaker because it is only 12% rate of survival if you go in with immediate intervention. So yeah, that was pretty insane. Because I was young, healthy woman, I always knew that heart disease was big in my family, but I never thought it would affect me because it happened to all the men in my family. I just happened to get the shitty genes, sorry to swear, but that's pretty much what it is. The crappy genes of my grandfather, my great-grandfather, my dad, that we all have coronary artery disease. And basically it means my body doesn't break down cholesterol like a normal human being. So the only thing over the years of my life, I have always been on and off like having high cholesterol. But I never thought my doctors were never concerned about it because I had a healthy diet. I literally haven't eaten dairy in 25 years because I'm lactose intolerant. I don't eat red meat. I exercise, I know my family history. And that's one thing that is so, so important. You need to know your family history, because that was the thing. That's what basically those doctors on that Saturday, they were like, they heard my family history, they saw my numbers off the charts, and they were like, you know what, something just quite isn't right. We need to go in there today. And I remember, obviously, I couldn't have visitors. After they went in, they saw the blockage. They were able to put in a stent, cleared the blockage, and I was actually able to watch it all. It was like on a big screen TV, basically, because they go in with a camera. And I feel like it might have been intern day there, because the guy that did my stint was rather young looking, but that's okay because he had a regular cardiologist there, like an older gentleman watching. So they fixed me up, and since then I have been amazing. I now need to take a very high dose of cholesterol pills. I am on a heart medicine, which it sucks to be this young and having to be on these medicines, but also thank goodness that there's smart enough people out there that have figured out what can help. And if I have to take this medicine for the rest of my life, that's fine with me. Then I don't have to worry about my arteries getting clogged. And because that's the thing, I literally ate nothing. And I joked with my cardiologist, like, damn, if I had known I was going to have a heart attack at 40 anyways, I would have eaten way crappier. But also, because I was so healthy, I didn't die. So that's the key to this. Even though it is hereditary, I have no control over it whatsoever. It can be treated. And that's one statistic I wanted to share with you all, that cardiovascular disease is 90% preventable. You need to know your family history. You need to know your numbers. Your cholesterol numbers are key. You need to exercise. Honestly, 15 minutes a day, taking a walk makes a world of difference. And also, heart disease is the number one killer in women, higher than cancer. It's because women are, maybe not taken seriously. Because even a month before I had my heart attack, I actually went to the emergency room because I thought I was having a heart attack, and they told me it was anxiety. Go check with your primary care doctor. And I went to my primary care doctor. I got all my tests. And the one thing, my cholesterol was at 200. So yes, it was a little high, but even my primary care doctor was like, oh, you already deal with depression and anxiety. It's COVID. The world's falling apart. Like, it's just anxiety. Take a break. But luckily I didn't take that as no, or you're fine as an answer. So yeah, it sucks that I had to fully have a heart attack before someone took me seriously, but I walked in that day, and 4 days later, I was able to walk out. And it was scary being in the hospital because I was on the cardiac care ward. Once again, it was COVID. So all night for 3 nights, I was just hearing code blue alarms going off. It was that one. It was terrifying. Yeah, it was terrifying. But anyways, I just wanted to come on here. Of course, I want to talk about this beautiful doll and how important she is. And I also want to make sure that you ladies are out there getting tested, making your voice heard. Make sure you wear your red in support of all of us ladies that are living and thriving still. Well, there's some people that aren't quite thriving, but I'm thriving. And I have heart disease. And I have to think about it every single day. But luckily, I have some great doctors behind me. I'm on some great medicine. And I can live, I was hoping to live at least another 40 years. That's what I told my doctor. So maybe we can make it another 50 years. I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, some other stuff I wanted to discuss too. Obviously, the American Heart Association is a big deal. And I had done a few walks with them in the greater Baltimore area because I'm from Maryland. And I actually was nominated in 2023 for, it was called Women of Impact, and for the greater Baltimore area. I was able to go to some fancy events, tell people my story. I was able to meet a local celebrity, the weather lady on WBAL, Ava Marie. She's amazing. Got a picture with her. I'll definitely throw some pictures up. Um, and in our group, it was a group of 8 women. Now, granted, um, one of the women, one was a cardiologist, and the other was their doctor. They were big wigs. I was actually the only one survivor in the group, so that was pretty cool. But I was able to we had a goal to raise money. I met my goal. Got to go to some really cool events, meet some cool people, and yeah, I feel as though it was a really good opportunity to get my voice out there because I am young and it's scary and it can happen to anyone basically. But women, you need to make sure you're being heard and you get tested to know your numbers. And there was another statistic that really bothered me is that the reason why it's a number one killer in women is A, it doesn't present as it does a man. B, say you're in a crowd, if a woman falls to the ground, a bystander is less likely to perform CPR on a woman than they are a man. Just because of the world we live in, people are afraid to touch women, I guess. But luckily, I never had to be resuscitated. I was completely awake for everything. It was awful. I highly do not recommend. And honestly, when I think of it too, the months leading up to my heart attack, I did notice some symptoms. I did notice some short of breath, some chest pains here and there. But like I said, I have anxiety. It was COVID. The world was falling apart. I just brushed it off. And after I had my angioplasty, I can finally breathe. It's amazing. It is completely, utterly night and day. And unfortunately, I did lose my dad to heart disease, but I will still be a voice and we'll talk about it. And yeah, I guess I also wanted to say, obviously, February is National Heart Month. So I do plan to have many videos throughout February with all my dolls. Everyone has tons of Valentine's Day outfits, red outfits, outfits with hearts on them. It's a really big deal for me. So I will definitely be making more videos, giving out more statistics, more information, just because I want everybody to be aware. And I feel as though it would be a disservice if I didn't speak up and tell my story. So this was a little different than my other lighthearted videos, but I thought it was important to discuss this. And if you like my doll content, please definitely like, subscribe, share with a friend, and tell me if you're a heart attack survivor or a stroke survivor or your story, because it's important. We all need to speak about it. And that's all I have for today. So have a great day and partake in Heart Month. Wear your red on Friday, February 7th, 2025. Thanks. See y'all later.